I want to talk a little bit today about keeping calm. I'm sure you've had experiences like this, but I had an experience at work this weekend where somebody was not calm. And, you know, g- our moods are so infectious. And I think when you're in a stressful crisis situation, or even not a crisis situation, just anything, if you can be the one to stay calm, it can be contagious, it can be infectious, it can be something that really spreads and gives a gift to the people around us. And we've all had the experience when we're around people, even if we're not speaking with them, but they're breathing fast or their energy is up, we can feel the stress that can come from that. And then when we realize this, we can bring our breath into a state of deep calm. And it can be a gift that we can give to other people without ever saying a word, without ever touching another human being, without ever, even having to engage in much contact. We can have this presence that we offer. So the first step of that, I think, is when you're in a group setting to recognize when someone's making you not calm, or to recognize when you don't feel calm, so that you can take a moment to kind of move into that inner space and bring yourself into calm space. So this can happen. The breath is, I think, the easiest way to access this, a sense of calmness. Obviously, it's a big aspect of the mind as well. But if we're having trouble and we are kind of being impacted by other people around us who are not feeling calm, we can simply ground ourselves, feel that sense of yielding in our body that we practice all the time in asana, and then to start to move with the breath in a calm way. So a couple of things you can do with the breathing to help you stay calm. One, breathe through your nose, so that you can access that nitric oxide and get that bronchodilator effect of nitric oxide. And also to lengthen the exhales. I know I say it all the time, but a lot of times, people talk about either box breath or a breath where you breathe in and then you hold and then you breathe out and you hold. And kumbakas, or holds in pranayama, are kind of an advanced technique. And I think if you don't have a good groundwork for breath practice, if you start holding your breath either after the inhale or after the inhale, it can sometimes ramp people up even more into a state of stress response. So I say that it's good to do kumbhaka holds, but I wouldn't choose to try to figure that out when you're in a stressful state. That's not your go-to for trying to calm yourself. Really, the exhales are where the calming influences come. So there's a lot of studies that prove that every time you inhale, we have this kind of natural wave that happens in our breath. Every time we inhale, we have a slight ramp up of our sympathetic nervous system. This is the energy building, the get up and go. Our stress response is part of that. And then every exhale, the parasympathetic nervous system is what elevates, and that is more the restful aspect of our nervous system. So if we're trying to calm ourselves, if we feel ourselves going on the on ramp, slowing our exhales is the simplest, quickest, and easiest tool for us to bring ourselves into a state of calm. So try next time you're in a stressful situation, whether it's you're in a difficult conversation or whatever, or just around somebody who's got some high energy. Just focus on yielding your body. So feeling the earth, grounding yourself in whatever ways that works for you, and then paying attention to just stretching the exhales a little longer. You don't have to necessarily count. You can do box breath, you can do all sorts of things, but just the simple act of trying to stretch the exhales like a wave that, kind of moves to shore in a really smooth pattern instead of a crash. That can be one of the best tools for helping you stay calm. So we're going to practice a little bit of that in our practice today. Okay, so let's sit up straight and tall and take a moment to drop into the awareness of your body. This state of yielding is, I think, an art that takes a lot of practice to cultivate. When people say ground yourself, some people can do it really quickly and easily, but other people, it's hard to figure out how to ground yourself. So hopefully over time, your practice is teaching you this. So feel it now, whatever is touching the ground. Maybe it's your ankles or your sit bones or wherever, however you're sitting, whatever's touching something. See if you can give a little extra weight into that part of the body. And you might notice when you give in to weight that you collapse your spine. So yielding is not collapsing. It's the balance point between collapse and prop. So now try propping yourself up so you can just feel, if you're trying to keep your spine really straight and you're lifting your posture, notice the feedback loop in your breathing and in your mind when you prop. This is a stressful place to be for a lot of people. So just kind of move back and forth between those two pendulum swings where you're collapsing a little bit and feeling all your weight drop. And then excessively propping where you're trying to almost lift yourself off the earth. And then slow that pendulum swing down till you get to a place where you're yielding, but not collapsing. You're lifting, but you're not propping. So I know I say often yield, push, and reach. And I don't know if that's helpful to you, but it is to me where we first find the earth, give our roots, sink down, feel connected, feel supported, and then rise from that support like we are staying in our roots, that we don't lose our roots as we reach. Okay, so find a little balance in your body here. And once you do, come into your breath and see if you can keep the breath as steady and smooth as possible. You don't have to lengthen the exhales right away. First, just kind of touch in, get to know your breathing. Notice if there's any barriers to breath across your chest, throat, shoulders, neck, diaphragm. And once you kind of open the channels for breath, let's see if we can imagine our exhales being like one of those waves in the ocean that kind of takes a really long time to get to shore. It's not a big curled wave that crashes, but a slow moving train. Imagine your inhale, the tide drawing back away from shore, that energy of pulling some breath in. And then the release of the wave finding its way back to the shore. A slow, steady wave, a slow, steady exhale. Now, if your mind works really well with counting, with kind of a metronome rhythm, then feel free to do some counting and just find a natural pace for your counting. See how many counts you get for your inhale, and then make it longer on the exhale. Try to detach from any prescription, because often when we're in a stressful state, we're not going to be in our minds counting. Chances are we're having to kind of use our minds in a different way in that moment. So see if you can train your body to know the feeling of a longer exhale. You don't want to push the exhale to a point of strain. If you have to gulp for your next inhale, you've probably held your exhale too long. So know that working with this over time is what really helps us get longer. It's not pushing, forcing. When you exhale now that we've got this beautiful rhythm going, Yield a little bit on your exhale. Just see if you can feel the yielding. And imagine on the in-breath that you're kind of drinking up from your roots, feeling that sense of expansion. Can you feel the difference between expanding and propping? Can you feel the difference between yielding and collapsing? Relax any place that's tense, maybe your eyes or jaw. And let's place the palms together. Offer an intention. Let part of your intention to maintain this breath pattern through your practice. And then let's release the hands. Go ahead and come onto our mats. Okay, so lie down on your back. And practice now when we come into a different position, where we're horizontal, vertical, all the different ways we can be in relation to gravity. Notice the difference here in your relationship to gravity. All right, let's enjoy opening the body. Stretch the left side, stretch the right side. Feel free to move your hips. You can stretch one leg longer and then the other. And just enjoy being in your body. Okay, and then bring your knees into your chest. And let's rock a little bit. Swaying from side to side. All right, and then let's circle the knees. So feel into your breathing. When we start to bring our attention to other things, like movement patterns, we sometimes can lose sight of the breath. So as much as you can, stay present with a nice smooth inhale and a slightly longer exhale. It doesn't have to be, double the length. Just any bit longer is going to help you keep calm. Let's open up the knees away from each other and bring the knees back in toward each other. And just find that sense of what's available in your body today. What's the range of motion today? All right, then right knee into the chest, left leg long on the floor, and let's roll the feet around. You can wiggle through your toes, roll in your ankles. Give a good squeeze to your knee. And switch sides, left knee in, right leg comes long. Keep moving your feet around, feel and enjoy. How's the breath now? All right, then reach that leg long. Starfish out your body, stretch your limbs wide, wiggle your fingers and toes. Exhale, knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Twice more, opening your body out. And then exhale. Drawing your body in. One more time. Big expansion. Exhale. Long condensement. All right, and then put your feet on the ground. Put your arms on the ground. Put your head on the ground. And you can lie with your legs straight too if you prefer. But before we move and come off the ground, feel the nature of yielding. So you can straighten your legs if you want. Anywhere that's touching the earth. So I have my legs straight so I can feel my heels, my calves, a little bit of the back of my legs, my hips, my glutes, a bit of my spine, my shoulder blades, backs of my arms, the backs of my knuckles, the back of my head. Anywhere you feel touching the ground, yield. All right, open your limbs wide. Exhale, knees into your chest. Come rolling over onto your side and come up onto your hands and your knees. Okay, so as you start your way through all fours, let's start to enjoy. So moving through some cat-cows. Feeling the arching, the rounding. Take an opportunity to reconnect with the rhythm of that wave of your breath. Imagine the long exhales like a wave moving to shore. Imagine the inhales like the wave moving away from shore. Or however, whatever, that's just one visual, whatever works for you. All right, let's go ahead and move the spine about in any way that serves. So especially if you haven't done much movement yet today, take your back for a walk, take your spine for a stroll, let it open up and loosen up in any way that you can find. And then stretch back towards child's pose, walk the hands forward, take a deep breath. As you exhale, melt your skull, melt your jaw, melt your tongue, your eyes, your skin on your face. Let's walk the hands over to one side of the mat or the other, opening the rib cage up and just enjoy. So, we warm up similarly often and let it just be something that you just enjoy in your body. And if you don't enjoy the warm up that I offer, do something different. So let the beginning of your practice be not only about coming into the breath and coming into, preparing your body for deeper movements, let it also just be about enjoyment, allowing yourself to love being embodied. Come back up onto all fours. Okay, now we're just going to practice a little bit of the yield and push here. So we have 4 limbs touching the ground. So we're going to move into one at a time. So move into your right hand, feel it yield, and then push off the right hand into the right knee. Feel it yield, and then push off into your left knee. Feel it yield and into your left hand. So going in a little, circle across your limbs. And it's easy to just lock out your elbows, stiffen up your spine, and just rock weight around. So let's not just rock weight around. Let's give to the earth and then rebound, and give to the earth and rebound. And this requires the joint above what's touching the floor to be loose. So let your elbows and your hips receive what the earth is giving, that it's not just getting locked at the wrists or knees. Okay, you can go as slow or as fast as that yielding takes you. And when you're ready, you can kind of move in the other direction. So we're going from left hand to left knee to right hand to left hand. So do you find the pace, the breath, the yielding? But the whole goal here is to feel the yield and feel the push off. Feel the yield and feel the push off. Notice if you forget to breathe. Breathing and yielding are 2 peas in a pod. All right, and let's stretch back to child's pose one more time. Find your breath, relax. Spread out the hands, curl the toes under, and lift your way into dog pose. All right, so let's stretch out the feet. Feel free to move around. You can rock your feet so that one heel descends and then the other descends. Just finding your way into any movement that opens up your legs. You can move your hips around. Okay, in a moment, we're going to kind of get a little more still and feel the yielding here. So first, just let your body loosen, maybe your neck. And then once you're in a happy place, see what it feels like to yield your 4 touch points, your toes, the balls of your toes and your hands. Yield them into the earth, push off, and reach through your spine. So unlock the joint right above. So your elbows and knees are not locked out. If we have locked out joints, we don't get energy flow moving well. So it doesn't have to be deeply bent, just unlock. Yield, push, and reach. Notice the breath. Find those long, stretched out exhales. Let the wave ride to the shore. And then when you're ready, walk your feet forward. Relax into Uttanasana. Bend your knees as much as you need. Halfway lift, the spine grows a little longer. And then exhale and melt and fold. Drop your seat and lift your chest and rise on up. Bring the arms to the sky, open the breathing, lean back if it feels good, open chest, and then release the hands down and give them a good shake. All right, so one of the other things that helps us discharge a lot of stress energy from our body isn't just the exhales, but it's also some shaking. So I know this feels weird, but you're home and you're alone. So your shaking and rocking can look just like this, where you're just kind of bouncing a little bit, but you can also just let your body kind of loosen its way. Close your eyes, move your shoulders, your head around, and just shake a little jiggle. Okay, it doesn't have to look any certain way. Find your exhales and shake things out. Okay, you can shake your arms, you can shake your legs, you can bounce, you can rock, you can spin, you can do anything that feels good. This is one of the reasons why dancing is so good. All right, now come and take some beautiful breaths. Come into a little more stillness. Maybe you're still rocking a little bit on your feet. A long wave to the shore. All right, and then yield your weight. Okay, try to have the difference between a collapse and a prop. And if you feel like you want to experiment and feel a collapse for a moment, and then feel a prop for propping up for a moment, so you can know the swing of the pendulums while standing. Remember, when we come into yielding, unlock the knees, unlock the joint above. See if you can keep unlocking up the stairs. So, we unlock the ankles, we unlock the knees, we unlock the pelvic floor, unlock the hip joints, the side joints, all through your spine. Feel your sternum, your ribs, your collarbones. See if you could just have a sense that every joint in your body has mobility instead of concrete. Long breath. On your next exhale, feel the yield of your feet. All your body weight. On your next inhale, feel the sense of drinking from the earth, so you rebound through some length without propping or guarding the breath. Let's see if we can keep this beautiful pace of our breath as we move through a vinyasa. So when you're ready, inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward. If my breath and your breath are different, follow your breath. Halfway lift on your next inhale. A full exhale, melt the knees. Step back to dog pose, long spine. While you're here, breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, come forward. Plank pose. Even though it's a sturdy pose, we're still exhaling fully. On your next exhale, so finish this breath. And the next time you exhale from here, so a nice beautiful inhale, exhale to find the floor. Inhale, cobra pose. Slow the breath down. Don't keep my pace, keep your pace. One more time, shoulders up and back. Exhale. Try not to hold the breath. Come up onto all fours. Move your spine about. Swish, swish, and sway. Inhale, left arm lifting to the sky. Exhale, slide that arm underneath, thread the needle. Find your exhales, melting through your neck. What's yielding into the earth? Whatever's touching the earth gets to yield. On your next breath in, whenever that comes, reach that arm all the way up to the sky. And place your hand down onto the ground. Yield. Next breath in, arm up, left, right arm. Exhale, slide it underneath. Whatever you're touching yields to the earth. So sink a little deeper beyond your mat, beyond your rug, beyond your floor, whatever you're on. Sink a little deeper. How are those exhales? On your next breath in, reach that arm all the way back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground. Find dog pose again. Once you're here, once you're up, yield, push, and reach. Find your breath. Connect the breath to the yielding process. Melt through your skull, through your eyes, through your jaw, through your tongue, the base of your skull. See if you can feel the sense that surrender happens, but also expansion happens. So we yield and we push and we reach and we expand and we breathe. Okay, right foot comes forward, left foot comes back, hands on blocks if you want them. Come into a lunge here, decide how you're feeling today. Do you need blocks under your hands or no? Let's straighten the front leg on the exhales. On the inhales, bend your knee again. And you can do a reverse breathing pattern from this. You don't have to follow my lead. This is just what my body likes. Maybe you prefer inhaling when you straighten your legs. So all is well. The most important thing you're doing is just yielding and breathing. All right, let's come into a lunge here. Ground your legs. Have a moment to be sure that you can yield. And then when you push off, rise up and reach to the sky. Every time you come to a new shape in the body, yield and breathe. Let these be your guiding lights for your practice, yielding and breathing. Practice, open the arms, press your hands forward, start to find a little support. Take a deep breath in, exhale. Right arm comes back next to your side. Left arm stays out in front of you. Extend through the spine here. Place that left hand down onto the ground and turn this into a twist. Shoulders away from the ears, finding your breath. Ground through the inner feet. Feel the inner thighs. On your next exhale, hand comes down to the ground, back to dog pose. Full breaths here, in and out. When you're ready, let's bring our left foot forward. Take a moment to ground yourself, feel your yielding. Come into a lunge. Find your breath. On your exhales, whenever that comes, try straightening your leg a teeny bit or a lot. Chin can drop down, head can rest. Inhaling to come back to a lunge. So slow things down. Part of learning the art of long exhales is learning patience, breath patience. Sometimes we just want to speed things up. Part of cultivating the capacity to sense calmness, be calm, is the ability to be patient. All right, so let your breath teach you patience. Drop your feet now into the earth, come into your lunge. Feel yourself steadying, and when you're ready, on the inhale, rise up. Can you have the experience of yielding, pushing, and reaching? Can you have the experience of ease in your neck, your eyes, your jaw? Let the wave, those exhales are still slowly coming to shore. When your next breath in comes, open your heart cactus and then press forward on the exhale with some stability. Once you're ready, you can take your left arm down at your side and reach your two arms away from each other. Feel your core. Feel your legs. Place the right hand down on block or ground and reach into a twist. Every time you find a new shape, take time to experience the yielding and the breathing. So we have to reorient ourselves to gravity over and over again. When we start to think and feel differently in our body, often we stray from the experience of breath. So just bringing yourself home. Hands down, front foot comes back, dog pose. Find the breath. Inhale, come forward into a plank. Steady yourself. And with your exhale, find the earth. Inhale, over pose. Exhale. Come up onto all fours. Experience your yielding again. Maybe this time yield into right hand and right foot at the same time. And then rebound and move over to the left hand and left knee. Okay, so notice the joint above, the elbow and the hip. Notice the joints. See if you can keep a sense of freedom. You know, just like anything, when we jump, we have to bend our knees first to jump up. If we try to jump with straight legs when locked out, we don't get much rebound from the earth. So same, feel into the rebound. All right, and then come back to child's pose for a moment. We're going to be very gentle in our practice today. Really want you to keep focusing on the breath pattern. If you like dog poses, move through a dog pose. If you're skipping dog poses for shoulders or anything else, just come up. When you're ready, if you're in dog, come forward into Uttanasana, and then we'll rise up to stand. Okay, so one more time, take your time to experience your yielding. Ground your legs. And then take your legs wide apart. Turn your right foot out. We're going to move a bit here through some standing poses, and then we'll stay put. So reach the arms out to the side. And often when we come into these standing shapes, we want to prop. We want to lift ourselves. We end up getting our diaphragm sucked up into our chest. See what it feels like to drop the shoulders, to drop all the way into your feet and unlock your knees. Then from there, yield and push and reach. Go ahead and bend the knee on your exhale. And as you inhale, straighten the leg. Maybe the arms come up. Exhale into Vira again. On the inhale, maybe you gather your hands to your heart. One more time. Arms go wherever you want them. Now we'll hang out here for a moment. And if you feel that having your arms out to the side isn't supportive of what our goals are today of yielding and breathing long exhales, put your arms down. Okay? Just practice what the container feels like. What are you able to do? Can you ground and yield? Maybe you need to back off the pose a little bit. Maybe you need to just change where your hands are. So find what's right for your breath to stay, for your sense of yielding in both legs to stay. Unlock the back knee. And then when you're ready, we're going to reach up into a reverse warrior. And then we're going to come down into Parsvakonasana and reach the other side body. Now, if you're okay doing this, if it doesn't make you unsteady or dizzy, let's do that a couple times. Reverse your warrior on the inhale, open the breath. On the exhale, back into Parsvakonasana. One more time. Just stay put if you don't like the flow. Now we're all going to stay put. And feel free to adjust your legs in whatever way you need. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Ground evenly through your 2 feet. Yield, push, and reach. Discover your breathing. Notice if there's tension anywhere, maybe the back of the skull or the shoulders. back up. Stand with your legs wide apart. Open up to a standing star. Deep breaths. Long exhales. Turn your feet the other way. So moving to the left. So remember, if you're staying with your goal of yielding and breathing, perhaps your poses are a little less intense to help you focus where you want to be in your attention today. All right, so maybe arms up, maybe arms out. See, especially bring your hands out for a moment. Notice if when your arms are out, if you tend to prop the upper body, maybe just try turning your palms up or dropping the elbows down. Subtle little things can make a difference in how we hold our diaphragm and our neck and shoulders. Okay, let's begin to move. So bending the knee on your exhale. Inhale, arms up or to the heart. One more. Place your arms where you want them to be. And this next time we'll hang out and stay. So remember, the whole goal here is to breathe well, to yield, to feel the calming influence that the body and breath are giving the mind. So yield, push, and reach. Breathe well. And steady shore, going to the steady shore with your exhales. As you're ready, let's reverse the warrior. Inhale. If you're ready for movement, come into Parsvottanasana. If the flow is not good for you, then you choose a pose and just stay there for a little bit. Otherwise, inhale to reverse the warrior and exhale to find the Parsvottanasana. Discover those long exhales one more time up. And then we'll stay. If you need a little bridge, straighten your thigh and then rebend. Choose a pathway for your arm that's happy for your breath and neck and shoulders. Relax the ears or the shoulders away from the ears. Give yourself into the yielding. Find your legs. Unlock the back knee. Soften it so that you can push off that back foot to reach through the body. Finding breath. Back, turn your feet straight or slightly turned out, standing star again. And now we're going to face forward, so turn your feet straight or even in a little bit. Bring your hands down. Maybe they come to blocks. Maybe they come to earth. Maybe they're out in front of you like dog pose. Maybe their hands are underneath you. Enjoy how wide your pelvis is here. A sense of space and room for your belly. Part of learning the art of breathing well is knowing what our diaphragm is doing. All right. Heel toe your feet in. Okay. We're going to come up to stand. So once you get into hip width apart, bend your knees, maybe a little shake. And then find your way up to standing. Yield one more time. Come into that sense of dropping your weight. Open breath. Sink your right foot down into the earth when you're ready, and we're going to come into tree pose. Now, if you need a piece of furniture or a wall, go ahead and take that. So you don't always have to have this be about balance. It can just be about the pose itself. All right, so see what it feels like. A lot of times when we balance, we tend to hold our breaths. Still be the wave. Still yield. Choose any pathway with your arms that serves. What are you serving? Serve the breath. If you serve the breath will serve you. So those long flowing exhales. Soften skin while you exhale. Yield your foot Rebound into a push and a reach without propping. Relax and melt the hands down, 2 feet onto the ground. Then you can have a little shake, a little jiggle. All right, so find your steadiness again. 2 feet on the ground, yield into the earth, give yourself over. Notice the diaphragm. So a lot of times when we try to prop ourselves off the earth, we grip our diaphragm and we have this tension, and it can become so habituated that we don't even realize we do it. So let part of your yielding be that your diaphragm can feel like it can drop on your inhales. Okay, we're gonna put weight into our other foot, dropping into our left, bringing our right foot up. And remember, your foot does not have to be at your thigh, it can be down by the other foot. Wherever you go, just try not to stick your heel at your knee. And then decide, do you want your arms wide or up or hands together? Can you have that sense that you're hugging the left hip in? We're not, sticking our hip out to the side. What's going to give you a sense of ease where you can yield and then find the push and reach without propping? What's going to give you the sense that your breath is still steady? When you're ready, unlock that foot, place it down onto the ground. Feel free to shake it off any which way you want to shake things off, or maybe you like total stillness. Eventually find your way into stillness. Feel into that sense of dropping your weight in your body. And then inhale, lift your arms up to the sky. Exhale and float forward. If you're sideways on your mat still, turn and face the front. On your next inhale, halfway lift, spine is growing. Exhale and melt. Let the knees soften. Feel the earth again. Drop in. Step back to dog pose. Maybe your foot that you never take back first. Take that one first. Once you come into dog, root to rise. So feel the yielding, feel your roots grow, and then reach through the spine without losing the connection of the yield. So try to move in 2 different directions simultaneously. Melt the neck, find the breath. Come forward into a plank. Hold yourself in a sturdy way while still breathing, still yielding. Unlock the elbows, unlock the knees. Find the ground. And take any back bend you want. It does not have to be cobra pose. Open your body up. And then melt and bring your head down. Put your hands, you can turn your head one way or the other, or you can put your forehead on top of your hands. Pick up your feet. And let's windshield wiper our knees left and right here. Breathing deeply. Okay, turn your head the other way and just lie down with your whole body prone. As you are here, find all the places that are touching the earth and let them drop in. Practice yielding face down, prone, instead of face up. And then come back up onto all fours when you're ready. Take a moment to move your spine about. And then let's go ahead and rest back into child's pose. All right, go ahead and sit on up. And you might want a blanket for this. Okay, you can sit your blanket underneath your left sit bone. So stick a little blanket underneath your left sit bone. Feet are off to the right side. So I have the front of my top ankle resting in the arch of my bottom foot. Okay. Let's reach the right arm up in the air and then bring your right hand to the outside of your left knee and twist to the side. Drop some weight into your opposite sit bone so that right sit bone is going to descend. Open up across the collarbones and chest and breathe. And then come back to center. Find your way back and switch sides. So we're going to have our legs go off to the left. The top of our left ankle rests in the arch of our right foot. Allow the right sit or left sit bone to drop down so your right sit bone is supported. And we're going to twist to the right. Left hand behind, or right hand, I'm sorry. Yeah, we're twisting to the right. Right hand behind you, left arm in the air, and bring your hand to the outside of the knee. Often when we do this pose, we want to push the ribs and chest forward and have a little arch in our back. So drop the pelvis down, integrate, and let the twist happen without a back bend. Open across the collarbones. Feel free to turn your head, even your eyes, or you can turn your head and eyes back the other way. Find the breath. All right, come back to center. Okay, sit on the edge of that blanket. If you have a strap and you want to work with the strap, that's great. We're going to take our right leg out to the side and tuck your left heel close in. I'm just going to do a little bit of a side stretch here. So I sometimes like a strap around my straight leg foot. So yield. Before you go anywhere, we're yielding and reaching. And then allow the arm to reach and find your way open. Don't feel like you have to go super deep. We want to stay grounded through our pelvis. Feel the yielding. Open up into the breath. Keep the neck as soft as possible. Notice different shapes create different patterns in the body. So pay attention. What is more challenging about yielding and breathing now than before, or less? And come back up. And we're going to switch sides. Take your left leg out. Right heel comes close in. Find the breath. Reach. So we're yielding and reaching. We're not just reaching without yielding. We're not just collapsing. We're finding both. Yield, push, and reach. Keep the neck soft. It's a good indicator if you're propping, if we're pulling a lot of tension into our neck. All right, come back up. We're going to keep that leg straight and we're going to join the other leg into a wide-legged seated posture. So come to a big V with your legs, lift the heart. Maybe your hands stay behind you and you stay upright. Maybe you come forward. Be mindful that if you come forward, you want to have a stretch in the belly of your muscles. You don't want to just feel it tug at the knees or at the sit bones. So find a happy place where you're opening to your edges, but not stepping over boundaries. Heels descend, quadriceps engaged, long spine, toes and kneecaps up toward the sky, rounding sit bones. Find the breath, long exhales. Back up. When you're ready, bring your legs in, bring your knees to your chest. You can round your spine for a moment. And then soles of the feet together with our feet away from us. So we're not doing Baddha Konasana where our feet are pulled close in. So form like a diamond shape between your legs. Lift your spine, elbows into knees, and stretch forward. Now it's very easy to collapse. It's very easy to shrink the breath. So yield, reach into the posture, reach your spine. Long exhales. right, come back up. We're going to do fire log, but you can do it a couple of different ways. You can have your hands behind you and just do kind of like a seated reverse pigeon pose if that's what's available to your body. Or if you're a little deeper, let's take the left foot on top of the right knee and come into fire log. So stacking your shins. Now, for some people, this can create a little panic in the body. So, a little bit of surge, rise. So let's bring ourselves into the yielding and bring ourselves into the breathing. If you want to go deeper, feel free to go forward without collapse. So we're yielding, pushing and reaching. We're not sinking and collapsing. Where's the long, steady exhales? All right, we're going to unwind. Take straight legs for a moment. Lift up through your spine, yield and reach. And then we'll change sides. So now we're putting our right leg on top of the left. If when you come into fire log, you end up rolled back and kind of hunched over, bring your hands behind you, lengthen your spine and lift your chest. And, perhaps take your foot on the floor instead of your shins parallel. So if you're in fire log, erase your wrinkles in your inner ankle. So we're not collapsing the foot, we're stretching through the foot. Hands can stay behind you or hands can be on the feet. You can go as deep into this posture as your body wants to go, as long as you are not collapsing and falling. We want to yield, push, and reach. And we want to mostly just stay in the ease of the long exhales. Give yourself over to the depth of your posture while staying as relaxed and at ease in the rest of your body as you possibly can. Stretch those exhales out. Come out of there. Stretch your legs straight. One more time. Take them hip width apart and just release your legs a bit. Like from your femur bones to your feet. Roll in, roll out, roll in, roll out. And then one last time. Dandasana, hands can be behind you or next to you. Reach upward, ground down. Root your sit bones, reach through your spine. If you feel like coming forward for Paschimottanasana, go for it. If you're not in the mood for that, you can just come onto your back. We're about to move into Shavasana. So everybody, when you're ready, coming down onto your back, feel free to do a twist or rocking or happy baby pose or anything that your body is needing. So however you like to transition into Shavasana is great. Take your time to find your way. And then as you come into Shavasana, try to not have rules around how you're supposed to be. Some days it might feel really good to spread your body out, legs wide, arms wide. Some days it might be nice to do Shavasana curled up on your side. Anything in between. So bring yourself into the feeling of your body at rest. Now feel once again all the places that are touching the earth. And give yourself over to the yield. Open all the gateways for a beautiful breath. And as you exhale, let your body deeply rest. long, smooth wave coming to the shore. As you are ready, begin to deepen your breathing. Don't move yet. Just become a little more aware and practice yielding everything you can. You don't have to push, just let go. Right, let's find a bit of movement, whatever feels nice to you. Eventually finding your way onto your side. Bringing yourself upright, taking your time. As you come to a seated posture, take a moment to notice if your practice gave you any calmness. And remember, you have this skill available any moment of any day. Yielding and long exhales can and will make a difference. Let's breathe our way into an offering for another. Send your love and care. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Blessings on the day.